Welcome back, everyone, to episode 4 of Ollie Foreman's The Mindset. Today I'm joined by Neil Giller, who is a international business and personal development speaker.
Sounds better when someone else says it. Thank you for having me.
No worries. Thank you for coming on. So, going back to what we were talking about earlier outside the studio, you're sort of now a public speaker, internationally speaking, but you came from like quite humble beginnings as a sort of making jewellery basically in Hatton Gardens.
Yeah, humble is a beautiful word that you've used there because it's one of my top words.
Yeah.
You know, humility is massive.
Yeah.
Massive. So, quick synopsis, got thrown out of school at 14 and a half, 15. Went home, Dad told me I wasn't going to be unemployed or get the dole. We lived very close to Hatton Garden, threw me down there, spent the day walking up and down, offered 3 jobs. Got in there making, selling and running jewellery all over London. And my brother was in Hatton Garden. I bring my brother into this for a reason because he's a real integral part of my story.
Yeah.
So when Mum decided that she was going to open up a business, coming from a Jewish household, you do what your mum tells you to do, especially when it's eating chicken soup. She told us that we were going to work for her. So we stopped doing what we did. As I said, my brother was in Savile Row, I was in Hatton Garden. And we went and started up a business with my mother. And the reason that we started that business up was something to do with racism.
Yeah.
I mean, the person that she was employed by at the time asked all of the clients to be invited to Henley Regatta, except for the religious denominations, i.e. the religious companies.
Yeah.
So my mum, being my mum, who's just phenomenal, phoned those 3 up, and that, as they say, is history. We started up a mailing house, putting pieces of paper into envelopes, print, posting, door-to-door delivery, just gaining a response for the clients. Back in the old days, you know, like with the bulky mailing kind of thing. None of this email, rubbish, palaver. And I'm not wearing flares, just for you that knows. So we ran that. So there was my dad, my mum, myself and my brother. My brother's 11 months and 3 weeks older than me. We didn't have a colour television, but that's a different story. And we carried on running the business. And we did that for about 12, 13 years. Retired Dad, he needed to go. It was one of those situations. Yeah. And Mum very, very quickly followed after that. And it was me who was the front of the house. And my brother was dealing with everything that was behind. So all the clients, all the looking after the clients, the networking, the putting a smile on the face, making it all look good or not. That was down to me, and all the technical stuff, the data processing, the putting the pieces of paper into envelopes, the collection by the Royal Mail, that was down to Ian. And one day, I was just about to go and sign a massive contract with a very large company, and I turn around and I hear snivelling. Now, my brother and I we were in the same office.
Yep.
And he sat behind me to my right, and I sat with a big window. And all of a sudden, I turn around, my brother's on the floor. Now, my brother suffers and has suffered with mental health, very bad depression.
Yeah.
Since about 16, 17 years old. He's tried to kill himself 3 times now. But at that point, my brother was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I am. He was just all over the show. So phoned my mum up. Mum came and got him. Supervisor took him to the cafe. I went and did the deal. Came back in and my brother wasn't there. I didn't have anyone to sell. I had staff there.
Yeah.
But
it's not quite the same.
Yeah. There was no like, and it was a really big deal, Ollie.
Yeah.
As in money wise, and it was a blue chip company.
Yeah.
You know, so when you want to celebrate stuff like that, your best buddy, your bro, your friend isn't there, and you know where he is. Hasten to add, he was sectioned a week later.
Okay.
And if you've ever been there before, you've ever had a sibling or a family member that you've got a section, you'll understand it's just not a nice place to be. You're making someone else's decision on their behalf, and they're still living. They're there. So that was hard. If I'm being honest, that was hard. And I'd always been this happy-go-lucky kind of guy.
Yeah.
And we were coming up for Christmas, and Christmas in our business was very, very, very busy. You can imagine at Christmas everyone's advertising. So from the middle of November till even the last day we could post, they were even doing stuff afterwards. We were just 12, 13, 14-hour days. I was covering my brother, and it was just really difficult. I was doing my stuff, I was networking, I was doing his stuff, I was running around, I was running a business, and we all know that running a business is really...
Yeah.
I mean, that's piss easy, isn't it? Come on, Ollie. Come on. I mean, there's enough business owners out there that are going, yeah, really easy. And depression had never... I call it the black dog. It never come knocking at my door.
Yeah.
It had never, ever surrounded me. And on December the 2nd, 2017, I woke up. The only way I can say it is like a crack addict. I was rocking back and forth. I didn't know who I was. I didn't want to do anything. I wanted to get back into bed. I wanted to pull the cover over. I wanted everything to... I didn't want to end life, which is the first question that you get asked when you go to the doctors. But I didn't want to participate. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, 100%. You kind of just want to exist, but do nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I spent, seeing as it was me running the business still, and we were really, really busy, I spent a whole 4 days in bed.
Yeah.
And then I went back into work. Because that's what business owners do, innit, Ollie? You know, you put a brave face on me. Well, my brother's still sectioned. I'm running around like a lunatic. You can work out which way this went.
Yeah.
Yeah. Running a business is phenomenal. But once it becomes a horror show,
it can very quickly.
It can very, very quickly. It wasn't a money thing, because we'd done okay. It was losing my friend, losing my brother, and then me thinking that it'll never happen to me, just bang, all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It wasn't all of a sudden, it was about a 2 or 3 week thing, but that was a hard period, Ollie, you know, and I love telling the story of how it all finished.
Yeah.
So there was a 26, 27-year-old business there. I came back after Christmas. I was sitting there and a client phoned up and started complaining that one envelope out of 27,932 didn't get where it needed to. So I replied to her, I said, could you do me a favour? And she went, yeah, of course I can. I said, could you lose my fucking number? And I put the phone down. And at that point, I thought, She then phoned back. She went, there seems to be something wrong with your telephone. I went, no, fuck off. And I put the phone down again. I then phoned my mum, who's one of my biggest gurus and just a warrior and a leader, and said, that's it, I'm done.
Yeah.
And 3 months later, we'd sold the business we'd housed all the staff, which was very, very dear to me, or who were very dear to me. Everyone was paid up. And we shut the business down, moving on the clients to other mailing houses with a little 5-year retainer that still looked after us, and or not. And I kind of decided that really wasn't where I wanted to. I wouldn't say I was stuck. I enjoyed what I did.
Yep.
But there was more.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was more. There was more.
It's like, it's kind of like you do something, you just plod along with it, but then you discover a whole new like purpose, as it were, and then you kind of, it all clicks in together. You're like, that is what I want to do.
Well, people say that the 2nd of December 2017 was one of the best days of my life, and I've got 2 phenomenal daughters that I was at their birth, but I can say the black dog visiting me was one of the best days of my life. And people are going to be sitting there going, whoa, this geezer's a masochist. On the contrary, it gave me an outlook on how people suffer.
Yeah.
And it gave me an outlook on how the perception of people. I mean, bless him, even my dad, who I've still got, he's 80 years old, with 2 sons that suffer with mental health. I don't get it. That's not what we did back in. Do you know what I mean, Ollie?
My dad is exactly the same.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Until you sit down, even when you sit down and you have the conversation, I'm very close to my dad.
Yeah, yeah.
But still to this day, I don't think he 100. I mean, he's never gone, come on, snap out of it kind of thing. But I don't think I don't think that generation get it.
Yeah.
So having been there, seen it, done it, taken the little shit pills, those whatever it is, citalopram or whatever it is that I call them happy pills. And let me whack a little caveat here. If those pills help you get up and smile in the morning, you keep taking them. But it's horses for courses, guys and girls. It's horses for courses. So I spent about 3.5 years on those little happy pills.
Yeah.
And in the process, what I did was, I'm a massive networker, Ollie.
Yeah.
So I was part of a networking organisation. I was asked to go and look after an area. And I kind of started mentoring their members in that network.
Yeah.
And there were people coming to me saying, "Look, you've run a business. What would you do?" And my answer would normally be, just tell them to fuck off, right? Or how's about doing it this way? Or how's about doing it that way? And the advice, which was quite flippant at the time,
Yeah.
people were coming back and going, "Do you know what, Neil? Your advice is pretty good. It's working." So I decided to start my company up called Stuff the Rest,
Yeah.
which kind of amalgamates the mailing side of things and also Stuff the Rest. I wanted to call it Fuck the Rest, but when we were sitting my accountant, we Googled it and it wasn't great at the time. Would be today, but probably wasn't about 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of method and ideology that I've got. I've got this true belief that we're blessed to be on this earth.
Yeah.
I mean, like, beyond blessed. If you sit and think about it, what are we doing here? And I know it's deep. It's deep.
Don't
But-
worry, we like deep.
That we can have this conversation, that you understand what I'm talking about, that what we're doing here is going to go out to all three of our mates,
Yeah.
right? Or whatever it is. We have to appreciate shit like that. And I say it
Yeah.
all the time, yeah? If you woke up this morning and you got a chance to fulfill your plans,
Yeah.
well fucking done. Because there were people that went to bed last night with plans that never woke up this morning.
Yeah. It's like life is very short, lived fully, but even it can be cut short very quickly.
We've all been there before. I know I've got a smile on my face. I am very light-hearted. We've all lost people before that shouldn't have gone. Through fucking stupid stuff, Ollie.
Yeah.
Through let's talk about one disease that should fucking be cured by now, the amount of money we've thrown at it.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Right? So life is so short, and you know what? I appreciate everything about it. Everything about it. And I believe in a life-work balance. And I'm going to say that again. I believe in a life-work balance, not a work-life balance.
Yeah.
And there's a 51-year-old man sitting here saying that. Yeah, all right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm 25 now, and that hit me last year, that realization. And you could say, "Oh, I wish it happened earlier," but I'm thankful it happened now instead of later on. And I've got, like, thankfully for me, I've got hopefully more time to then.
Ollie, there's a reason for everything.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I said to you. Some people would look at that black dog and go, "Oh, he's happy that the black dog came visit." Of course I'm fucking not. Of course I'm fucking not. I don't want depression or didn't want depression. And by the way, I got asked a fucking stupid question a couple of months ago. Now that you're over depression, and I looked at the geezers, I think the look, I think it hurt him. Let's put it like that. I explained to him, you never get over shit like that.
Yeah.
It's a point of reference. And if you think depression is people going mad, on the contrary, I guarantee you 70 to 80% of the people that you see in your daily life suffer with some form of depression.
Yeah.
They just don't fucking know it, or they think that that's it. Does that make sense?
I think the best way I explain it to people, I use like a metaphorical little story, is I just go, imagine like your mind is like a dam and the water building up is depression. And on stormy days, like the water's all choppy and it puts pressure on the dam. and it builds up and builds up if you let it. And then the smallest thing, like a little bit of rain, can just make it burst. But you think that little thing has caused your depression. You got to go all the way back when that water started first building up.
It's like the phyllo pastry. It's a nice metaphor, nice one. But I use it with, and I use this with my brother. It's like the phyllo pastry of 1,000 leaves, I believe. That's what it is. And I remember at first when I didn't understand my brother's depression. What the fuck, man? What is it that's bugging you, Ian? And he looked at me and he just started like laughing. And I'm like, what are you laughing at? He went, Neil, it's not just one fucking twig.
Yeah.
It's everything that's just piled on top of each other. And then there'll be that one little, what you said, that one little droplet that'll just overfill it.
Yeah.
And going back to it, going back to that public speaker, I do one of my speeches is I stand up and the first question I ask, I don't want to be a spoiler here, but the first question I ask is pop your hands up if you've got mental health. Yeah. And you'll sheepishly see a few people turn around and go, and then I'll ask the same question again. Those people will bolt their hands up and then a few more people behind them will go, oh, fuck it. Yeah. They're being honest, I'll be honest. And then I ask the question for the third time and I whack a caveat on it. Who here has mental health? By the way, who here woke up this morning? By the way, that'll be every single one of you that have got mental health. It's how it's dealt with. It's a beast. It's a beast. And you know what? Even with the people with a smile on their face, the clowns. I take Robin Williams.
Yeah.
What a lost soul.
Yeah. You would have never known. Looking at him, the way he acted, nothing.
You'd never know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You'd never know. So I want to say to anyone out there that is listening to this and or watching it, first of all, I'm sorry I'm so ugly and you've got my wrong side, but if you're sitting there and you're suffering, most important thing is to talk. And I don't care who it is you talk to. Do you know what? I'm putting Ollie up here. You might not know us. And it's sometimes better to talk to a stranger. I don't know whether you find that.
Yeah. I mean, you've got no emotional attachment with
Reach out. If all you want to do is speak to someone and just unload, reach out. You know, that's a massive lesson for me. You know, there are so many broken angels that just try and get on with this shit by themselves.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going to emphasise that word. Actually, no, I fucking love what I do now. I think it's what people call a living. I think I work sometimes.
That's it. That's a great place to be.
It's a beautiful place to be.
Good. It is so good. So when yours came, how did you what was the thing that made you like, right, we're going to get up and we're going to do this?
I don't stay down. Yeah. I never have. Do you know what? Giving up in my book, it doesn't exist. And that comes from, once again, my beautiful parents. Yeah, you know, I mean, whatever happens, I mean, I'm sure that there are parents out there and parents of parents and parents and parents that sometimes, especially in today's world, put food on the table before they eat themselves. And that's the one thing that kept me driving. I still got my mum. I'm 51 years old. I still got my mum and dad.
Yeah.
That's quite. It was my mum's 79th yesterday. Boy, did we eat cake and have cuddles. But, you know, they're the people. You know, I'm divorced now, but my ex-wife, she was phenomenal. You know, she was phenomenal. And at the time, I'd probably say she didn't quite understand how bad it was. Yeah. My children. I mean, you don't want your children to see you. I was going to say unwashed and unshaven, but, you know, I've actually had a shave at some point in this year. But it's just not where you want to be. And I think what you want to do is you want to do it for everyone else. And here's a little lesson. Fuck everyone else. Yeah. Fuck everyone else. And I love it, all of those people that I've named. Right? You got to want to do it for you.
Yeah. That was what got me out of where I was. I was at the point where I was thinking about taking my life, and it got to the point where I was like, fuck this, man. Like, why am I here? What am I doing? Like, thinking this shit. But then you want to get back to where it is. And like I say, like, I just made a choice that I want to do this. And everyone said, like, oh, it's so easy to say. It's like when you're drunk and you got to walk in a straight line. It sounds so simple.
I can't walk in a straight line when I'm sober, let alone drunk.
It's so simple, but
if you've not been there, I mean, I once remember being in a mental health talk, and there was an expert up that turned around, and she was talking about mental health and how to deal with it. And I popped my hand up and I went, "What's your top tip for when the black dog comes calling?" And she looked at me and another 50 odd people there. She went, "Excuse me, black dog? What's that?" You got someone standing up there talking about depression that's never ever seen it, been there or done it. Do you know what? My depression isn't the same as yours. Yours isn't the same as my brother's. We all have different.
Everyone has their own experiences.
Our own experiences. But going back to what you were saying, what stopped you from doing what you did, what you were going to do?
Yeah.
What stopped you?
It's just, I didn't want to. Personally, I thought if I took my own life, the mess I will leave behind is not fair, and
It's not fair.
that's one of the main reasons.
Unfortunately, I've never ever, hand on heart, I can turn around and say, I've never ever wanted to kill myself. I've never ever wanted to end it. Mm-hmm. I think I've been fucking close,
Yeah,
right? I think
yeah.
I've been fucking close, but I've never ever wanted to end it because of those people that were important. More importantly, because of me.
yeah.
Do you know what? I belong here. People
It's
sometimes say to me, sorry to stop you, people sometimes say to me, "Why are you always so fucking happy?" And I look at them with a very dour face and go, "What's the fucking alternative?"
Yep.
I woke up this morning, I'm blessed.
It is very lucky to just.
No, it's
We
blessed.
are lucky.
It's not lucky. Winning the lottery is lucky.
That is true.
Winning the lottery is lucky. You got to be blessed to carry on. And I don't want to preach. There's no religion here. It is a true blessing that we woke up this morning.
Yep.
It's not lucky. It's a blessing.
There we go. I'll rephrase that. We are blessed. But no, it's the same as like you can go to all these mental health talks, and you can go to all of this shit that people say will help. But if you don't want to make that effort, like if you don't want it, then it's just pointless going.
I'm fortunate now, saying what I said before, I love what I do because I now mentor people, mentor business people. And I've got a myriad of beautiful human beings that I look after.
Yeah.
Or we look after each other. It's not just me that does it. And I'm dealing with people, or I've dealt with people that haven't managed to get out. I can't get out of bed.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with people that are crying every single time they put the phone down from a phone call. I'm dealing with people that are dealing with shit. They should just drop. I'm not being flippant when I'm saying that.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with people that were addicted to cocaine for 30 years. We're now 120 days sober. Talking about addictions. I'm helping one person at the moment. We've just gone 2 months without having a drink. By the way, all of their businesses are running beautifully.
Yep.
Because I help my clients live a life-work balance. Check this out. I said to you before we walked in, how you doing? Everything all right? Yeah, you busy with your tree surgery? He went, I'm really busy up until February. That's beautiful. That you've got a business that can run itself and you can do what really floats your boat. Doing what you love. And I feel sorry for people out there that got to get on a tin can every single day.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that, Ollie.
Yeah, but even business owners, the business eats them away.
But there you go. It's the same metaphor. They're getting the tin, or it's that hamster wheel.
Yeah.
How many business owners are sitting here, if they've afforded themselves the 45 minutes an hour to listen to this?
Yeah.
If they've afforded themselves, are sitting there going, do you know what? These geezers are speaking sense. But I tell you what, I'll keep running around on the hamster wheel being a dick. It's not difficult. I know for a fact. I fill that cup up on a regular basis. Every single day, people take the piss out of me. They know for a fact I'm going for a walk by myself. I'm going for a walk with my dog called Sydney Winston Einstein. He's got 3 names, so fucking what. And I've always got to have a bit of cake. I meet up with people. I mentor people. I talk to people. I go and do gigs. I make sure I'm doing stuff for my mental health.
Yeah. Do you find like the walking with the dog is a big one?
Massive. I see that you love a bit of nature as well. I mean, obviously doing what you do as well.
Yeah.
being outside I had a client on the way in here that was feeling a little bit down. And we had a 10, 15-minute pep talk. Pep talk. I swore quite a lot. That's a pep talk. And I actually said to him, what you doing? And I detest the word busy.
Yeah.
Because it's a load of bollocks. Right?
Yeah.
So I went, I'm busy. I went, busy doing what? I'm busy doing... I went, do me a favour, right? Get up, grab hold of a cigarette, and walk outside. Sorry for anyone that doesn't like cigarettes. Fuck you, right? In today's society, how dare you smoke? Fuck you. Get hold of a cigarette, go outside, look up at the sky and breathe.
Yeah.
Breathe.
It makes a big difference.
Just have a look at what's going on. So for me to be outside, I've driven here today.
Yeah.
Right, so as I'm driving in, I can see the metropolis from where I can see, whoa, look at that.
Yeah.
Wow, what a blessing. So being out, for me, I now know what my granddad used to talk about. Fall was his favourite season.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons being was it's because of the colours.
Yeah.
I mean, you being doing what you do, how many different greens are there? The reds,
Yeah.
the browns, and most people just, it's a fucking leaf, isn't it? No. I don't know whether it's an age thing. I don't know whether it's an age thing or not, but I think the more you understand your being and your purpose and what you're here for, the more you have a look at what's around you.
Yeah. I mean, so for me, like a big thing that helps my mental health is I go hiking with my dog. And we do like 20, 25k hikes. But I really like...
Those fuckers have heard stuff that no one else has heard, haven't they? Huh?
That's it.
Thank God they can't talk, eh? Hey, Ollie?
But then I like hiking with just me and my dog. And it's just
it.
I still talk to him, even though he's not going to answer me back.
I get it.
And then, yeah, I like photography. And you go out, I get to get some banging photos out. You get to climb, like, it's not like easy. It's painful when you're doing like 25Ks. But you're climbing like big hills and you get like the most beautiful views at the top.
And that's what it's all about. You know, I talk about this all the time. Thank you for bringing this up. It just reminded me of something. When any one of my clients get a contract or they win or they do something, I ask them to dwell. Instead of moving on for the next kill.
Yeah.
Because that's what the rat race is. That's what the wheel is, right? So what I ask them, the analogy that I use is, right, okay, so you got a geezer or a girl, sorry, in today's... do apologise. You got a person. Am I allowed to say that? You got a person that's climbing Mount Everest. They get to the top of Mount Everest. What do you think they do? Have a little look. Go, yeah, that's really, really nice. Turn around and go back. Nah. They get on the top. They've got a little flag. They whack a flag up. They go like that. They've got the goggles on it. They have a little look around. And if it's clear, look at that. It's amazing. They take in the view.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're too busy running around this hamster wheel. We don't take the views in. And by doing what you do, which is that hike or that little bit of photography, I get it. I love my music. So I can be found cutting shapes in between sessions. 51-year-old man still got it, you know. I can moonwalk and everything. Don't ask me to do it. But it's about being fit and agile and still doing what you got to do. Do you know what? I'm 51. I've got little aches.
Yeah.
Right? Still play football. That's good for my mental health as well.
Yeah.
That's really good because for that 1 hour, I play five-a-side football. You actually run more in five-a-side than you do on an 11-side. That's a fact. By doing that, I can switch off and not worry about my clients, my missus, my kids, my mum, my dad, what's in the bank, what needs paying. For that 1 hour, do you know all I've got to do? I just got to be Neil Giller.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sound like a Miss World, but it's a beautiful thing, you know?
Yeah.
It's when you can be yourself and you allow yourself and you give yourself permission to be who you are, first of all, you're going to smash the shit out of everything else. I guarantee you.
Yeah. That's also another thing that kind of like eats away at people's mental health. Trying to fit in. Just be yourself. Like I say, like, fuck the peer pressure. Like, why are you getting hung up on that? Just like, don't care. Like, as hard as it is to do, just don't give a shit and just be yourself.
I've got one client that came on board and I mentor or I coach, whatever it is. I said, what do you want? He went, I want to earn a fortune and I want better cars than my mates. And I looked at him and I went, tell you what, stop being a fucking dickhead, first of all. He went, what? What? I don't give a fuck what someone else is. Do you know what? When someone else gets a car, one of my boys, or I see whatever it is, well done, you.
Yeah.
Well, when someone else buys a house, especially in today's climate, well done. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
When you see someone with a new pair of glasses or a new pair of trainers, or I was going to say crepes, but my daughter will go mad, right? But stuff like that, yeah, that's good shit. That's good stuff. There's loads of good stuff in this world. It's the English colloquialism as well, and it's the negativity with my clients. What I'm going to say suggest, but I'm quite fervent on this. You come on board with me, there is no more news or radio.
Yeah.
There's no newspapers.
That's what I do.
There's no news. There's no radio, and there's no news. Because I don't know whether you know, inflation's gone up. I don't know whether you know, the cost of living's really bad. Don't know whether you know, if you switch your heating on, you're going to have to pay a fucking fortune next year. Let me give you a little bit of tip about your heating, guys. Right? I'm not a guru and I'm not clever in any shape or form. If you're cold, switch the fucking heating on and worry about it in March or April. Done. Finished. Simple. But it's simple shit, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's like another rabbit hole to go down, really. All of like the news. And
I won't go. Listen, religion, football, and politics. We just touched a little bit on religion, football. No, politics. Let's not even talk about football. Fair?
See, I'm not a football fan, so I'm all
Neither
good.
am I. I'm a Tottenham supporter. So there you go. I just got in there before someone else did. Yeah, simple as that.
That is it.
Someone will make a comment.
So you do, obviously, with your clients, you have your own clients, but then you're in BNI, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm part of. So for me, networking is massive.
Yeah.
And people sometimes get a little bit, networking, that's when people meet people. Well, yeah, it's called evolution. You have to meet people. You know, little story from yesterday. I was in a networking situation yesterday that was online.
Yeah.
And it was a 10-minute session. There was one person running it. And they said to every person, could you please tell us what you do? And they explained. And it ended up with 2 minutes that were free. And the person running the room turned around and went, is there anyone else that would like to say anything? I've always got something to say. So I sat there for probably a pause for about 3 or 4 seconds. And they all know me really well. And I went, for fuck's sake, you lot. And everyone was like, uh-oh, Giller's on the rad. You're all business owners. You've just been given a platform in front of another 8 business owners and none of you took it. I tell you what, guys, today's lesson from Neil Giller is, if you don't ask, you don't get. Stand up. Invest in yourself before people invest in you. And I took the remainder of those 2 minutes to make sure that people remembered me. They remembered me. So networking is a massive part of who I am and what I've done. Whether it be with BNI, whether it be with someone called Zuko, whether it be for the local chambers commerce, whether it be FSB or any of those others, whoever, all the competition, 4N, 2M, 1M, whatever you want to call them, right? Can I just remind all of you, collaboration, not competition, you dickheads. Yeah, we're all in this together. We all run businesses.
Yeah.
If you're a networker, you're a networker, whichever organisation or lapel pin you choose to wear.
Yeah.
Network with human beings. I love networking. I love every aspect of it. I love the way that the old school go in for the kill. Yeah, and I can see them going in for the kill. And it's like they want to sell at you.
Yeah.
Right? Well, you've only known me for 45 minutes and a quick conversation. You fucking try selling at me, you'll end up ruined. Yeah? Like those DMs that come in. Can I help you with this? Can I help you? No, fuck off. Networking is an art.
Yeah. It is the most powerful tool, I think, for any, like, whatever endeavor you're going down.
It's built my businesses. It's built.
Yeah.
I've been in networking for that many years. Nearly 30 years.
Yeah.
30 years. Do you know what? If it didn't work, I don't stick at things. I know for a fact, if I surround myself with like-minded, beautiful humans that are also running the rat race, if we look after each other, I'm constantly referring. Yesterday, I sat there at the end of the day. I'd referred 5 people by the end of the day. And it was just because people come to me and gone, oh, you don't know a good designer. You don't know a good builder. You don't know a good painter decorator. You don't know a good... It's what makes the world go round, referring each other. And in small businesses as well. A lot of your audience are going to be small businesses, Ollie.
Yeah.
And if they're still listening to us after 46 minutes, do you know what? If you don't network, I'm telling you now, if you don't network, your business is fucked.
Oh, 100%.
And if you turn around and say, well, I'm on social media, I don't need to network. Dickhead, that is networking.
Yeah.
You know, we know a lot of people that have got a very good social media presence.
Yeah.
Right? A very good social media presence.
Yeah.
You might not agree with the way it's done, or the music that's used, or the way that it's done. But do you know what? Those people, they're magnets. And for me, whenever I do my stuff, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, family, freaks and friends, people know me for that.
Yeah.
And I talk about them choices. Them choices. I can't make the fucking choices for you.
Yeah.
So I can't make the choice. If you want to carry on being a hunter instead of a farmer when it comes to networking, you're dead. You're dead. I have farmed for 30 odd years. Farmed. And boy, does it come to fruition. Because if I ever want anything, if I need a favour or I need someone who's professional to do a job for me, bang, done, finished, end of conversation.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, we'll mention him again. He's been mentioned on every podcast so far, Mr. George T.
No, do you know what? Seriously. Do you know something? Seriously, for those who don't know, he's only about that big. Seriously. Have you... Seriously, you can put him in your pocket and everything. He's wicked. I love him. I love GT.
But I say, I started working with George last year, and it really like brought on the importance of networking. And without that networking I started last year with George, like I probably wouldn't, this podcast wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be sitting talking to you or any of the guests.
So it's George's fault?
Yeah.
George,
yeah,
fuck's sake, man. Seriously.
George.
What are you all about, George? Seriously.
But again, it's just like...
But you needed that someone that just inspired you, someone that showed you this is the way it could be done.
Yeah.
You know, George T and I are very, very similar. We run a mastermind together every single month. So he deals with all the business side, all the cash flow side, and I deal with all the, come on, man, look after yourself as well.
Yeah.
And I sometimes sit there dribbling over George's 10 top tips or 4 top... He's got loads of them, isn't he?
He's got loads.
Where the fuck does he get all these top tips from? Whereas I just bowl it and I'm like, I'm not as good as him, but he's pretty good. I learn from him on a daily basis. And I know for a fact he's name checked me on a couple of times.
Yeah.
You know, there is a method to it. And if you want to grow your business, networking is the best way, whether that be online, offline, and or both, which is what George T does. You do it. I do it. We're talking about Lawrence before. We're talking about Luke from F&L Kitchens. There you go, Luke. I told you I'd get a little pitch in for you. You owe me a drink. But all jokes aside, these are people that understand networking is the only way to build your business.
Yep.
You know, your reputation isn't what you think it is. It's what people say about you when you ain't in the room.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What do people say about Ollie when he's not in the room?
He's a cunt.
Woo! He just dropped the C-bomb. Big time. Nice.
But
is he a lovable cunt?
Exactly. But
there you go.
I used to live in Australia, so that word got chucked around left, right, and centre. I'm used to that.
Listen, you haven't offended me in any shape or form. There's one rule that I've got. For anyone that follows me on social media, you know that I do love my swearing and I don't conform. That's the one word I don't drop on social media. But I just did before, so I said it. So thanks, Ollie. I really appreciate you.
You are very welcome.
I appreciate you big time, bro. Thank you.
No worries. But yeah, again, it's just like the impression you leave on people.
Check this out, right? We've just been 100% real there, okay? Yeah. That's what I guarantee to my clients or anyone that comes in front of me. I've just told the story of coming here today.
Yeah.
There was nowhere to park.
Yeah.
There's an industrial site next door. I walked in. It was like a safeguard, you know, like one of these safe places. You can put all your stuff in there.
Yeah.
Right, self-storage. I got there in the end. And there was this lovely girl sitting there. And I walked up to her. I went, what's your name? She went, Rihanna. What's your name? I went, my name's Neil. You, Rihanna, are going to do me a favour. She let me park there. Do you know what? When I go back there and it's not there anymore, maybe I'll worry a little bit. But it's about putting the good out.
Yeah.
It's about being 100%, this is what I was going to talk about, 100% real. And being real, when people tell you they're being real or being honest, they're talking bollocks. They're talking bollocks.
Yeah.
Actions speak louder than words.
100%.
Do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. And if you can't fucking do it, don't say you're going to do it. Easier on both sides.
Yep.
Easier on both sides.
Accountability is very, everyone, like Matt. Well, we all know everyone is going to be like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that.
You find out about the people that do that.
Yeah.
You find out about, I do a lot of public speaking, and people used to walk up to me, can you send me this, can you send me that? And I used to take their cards and I used to send it to them.
Yeah.
And then I flipped it up. I can't remember who told me this. He said, instead of you taking their card, give them your card and ask them to get in contact with you. Do you know the numbers really, really fell down?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. We do that in business, like my business. They're like, oh, can you get hold of us? I'm like, no. If you want to get hold of us, here's my details. And a lot of them, they don't. And then why am I going to waste my time trying to chase you?
Why am I wasting my time running around for someone that's talking bollocks? I'll follow you up. I've got something for you. I've got a referral for you. Or I've got something that I'm going to introduce you to. You only say that to me once. And then the next conversation is, here's their details. I've told them that you're calling.
Yeah.
If you don't have that next conversation with me, do you know what? Whatever. If you say it to me again and you don't do it, and again and you don't do it, do you know what? You're kind of making a rod for your own back.
Yep.
Stop promising shit you can't deliver.
100%.
Under promise and over deliver.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah. No, that is George.
I normally say it the wrong way round, but yeah. Under promise and over deliver.
Yeah. That's a tactic we use. I say, like, when we go out quoting, I'm normally on site doing the quotes. I'm like, right, we'll get the quotes to you by the end of the day. They'll have the quote in the next 5 minutes. And they're like, wow. It's little things like that really make
perception, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's perception.
Yeah. It's like you take your car to mechanics and say we're done next week, and they phone you up the next day and they're like, oh, your car's done. You're like,
thank you.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's making it simple for the other person on the end of the conversation or the end of the deal. If you can make it as simple as possible and easy as possible, those are two separate words, by the way, simple and easy. If you can make a process, whatever process it is, easy and simple for the other person, we're all good.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It's like that story that I told you. That Rihanna made it really, really simple for me this morning. Trust me, I'm repaying back because there's this thing called karma. It's like a rubber band.
Oh, yes.
Right? So I'll be going and find her a cake or something or some chocolates, and I'll be taking it back to her. I might even get her on a bit of social media about karma, to be quite honest. I'm sitting here thinking about it. I might introduce the world to Rihanna from Bowl, innit? You get me?
But it is, like, what you put out in the world is what you get back.
It ain't difficult.
No, it's
I
easy.
talk about this quite a lot. I don't know whether you picked up on it. You can be a radiator or a drain in life.
Yeah.
Right? So the radiators are the people that are the ones that are always smiling, whether it's hurting or not. Do you know what? They're putting this mask on. And the drains are those people that you turn around and go, are you all right? And then you sit there for the next 15 minutes going, fucking hell, why did I ask them that question? Because they're just negging the living daylights out of you. They're probably the people that watch EastEnders and or that fucking shit show that's on at the moment. I'm a Celebrity. Yeah. They're the neg ferrets in the world. And if anyone don't like it, come at me. Come on.
So I used to get... when I was at school, I used to be like really smiley, and that's what I was known for. And people used to hate me for that. I was just like, bro, you need to chill out.
But that's what I said to you. People are like, why are you always smiling? What's the fucking alternative? Trust me, when this face goes and it goes negative, you'll know about it, right? I speak a lot just with my face.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
And it's not that hard to smile, even though like someone going through a lot of shit. But back to Robin Williams, he always smiled, but no one could see.
Can I tell you a quick story, if you don't mind?
Yeah, go for
about that. There was a priest in San Francisco. It's a true story. A priest in San Francisco that had to deal with all the people that used to jump off the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah.
So when they call them jumpers. When all the jumpers used to jump, and there was loads of them.
Yeah.
Right? So you used to get the body and then work out, not a priest, I think it was a pathologist. They go and work out how you've died. So
Those like the people that do the autopsies, as it were.
Yeah. So it was like they were investigating why those people had jumped, right?
Yeah, okay.
So then they'd go back to the house, they'd find that letter, or they'd look at the websites that they were looking at, etc., etc. And this guy had been there for years. He'd been dealing with jumpers for years and the aftermath. And he said this was the one that really got him. He said this guy jumped off a Golden Gate Bridge, went back to his house, opened everything up, and there was that letter.
Yeah.
Right, opened up the letter, and the letter said something like this, or words to this effect. I'm now going to go and walk from here to the Golden Gate Bridge. If anyone stops me and or smiles at me, I will not throw myself off the bridge.
Yeah. I think I remember hearing that.
No one stopped him.
Yeah.
And no one smiled at the poor angel.
Yeah.
How easy would it have been to stop him not being an angel? Just someone to turn around and go, all right. Or someone just to turn around and smile at him. My mother, beautiful human being, again, keep name checking her. If you can make 5 strangers smile a day, you have done what you were put on the earth to do. Because not only are you making them smile, you're making yourself smile. And it's a ripple effect, Ollie.
Yeah.
Because that smile that you've given them, guess what they might do with it? They go and pass it on to someone else.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a massive advocate of people smiling. Maybe not on the tube, but if you've tried smiling on the tube, people look at you like you're fucking mad. I think you're going to mug them, seriously. But smile. That's what it's all about. Smile, smile. Mean it as well, because people can see it.
Yeah. I mean, when you put a genuine smile on and you just catch someone's eye when they're walking past.
There's nothing like it, is there?
They first you get the surprise, and then they're like, "Oh wow!" And then you see a smile.
It's even like in today's world. Even when you sit in the traffic lights, if I look to my right, there's a woman there, right? I'm not chatting her up. I just want to make her smile. Or you know, when you're sitting there listening to your tunes, or and you look across and someone else is doing it. That's what makes this world go round.
Yeah. I think that's like another big thing for anyone who wants to be not like necessarily a business owner, but kind of like going down a personal branding route. Like your content has got to make people smile. Like it's not if it's boring, it's not going to go.
I've come across networking for many years. I've come across enough people that are so fucking boring. I probably want to kill them. It gets so bad sometimes in one-to-ones. I just think of going kamikaze. But there's so many, and I'm not being rude here.
Yeah.
There are so many boring, grey people out there. You know, it's about presenting yourself in Technicolor. Yeah, and I talk about this quite a lot. One of my favourite films is The Wizard of Oz. That film's wicked, but it don't start kicking in until it starts going colour. And because it's colour, you then know it's the yellow brick road. If it wasn't, it would be the grey brick road. Make sense?
Yeah.
So it's all about being colourful. It's about shining. It's about putting it out there. Just a little caveat. Some days I don't want to do that. Guess what I do? I carry on fucking doing it.
Yeah.
Because not only does it make other people feel good, in the end, it will make me feel better.
Again, it kind of like falls into the consistency, being disciplined, and that all ties up nicely together.
Listen, you spoke about it before. I've got something with my clients. I call them partners. I call it a pity party, right? And we could all sit there, even as positive people, and I allow pity parties. And people are like, what? You're a mentor. Okay. You're allowing people to neg themselves. You're fucking right, I am. I want 15 minutes on your timer. I want the most depressing music you can find. And I want you to write down everything that's shit about your life for 15 minutes. When that 15 minutes is done, I want you to switch that depressing music off. I want you to put your best banging tunes on. And I want you to rip that up. And I want you to write out a list of what you're grateful for. That's where we need to be going.
Yeah.
So I allow people a pity party.
Yeah.
But rip that fucker up when you're finished with it.
Yeah. Again, it's just letting it. If you go down that route and then just letting it catch, snowballing up.
Let it out.
It's just
bad. I make a lot of my clients cry. I do. And they're always, whenever they start crying, they're like, I'm really sorry. And I'm like, you do not need to apologise. It's kind of like a spot. If you squeeze a spot and not all the pus comes out, that spot's coming back. If you squeeze a spot and everything comes out and you get that clear stuff, that spot's going away. It's the same with crying. Men as well. Stop being so fucking hard. It's all right to cry. I mean, some of you probably cried at I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here last night, but hey-ho.
I didn't watch it, so I have no idea what's
I
going
didn't
on.
either. I don't watch it. I just take the piss out of people that do.
But no, honestly, it's just, especially like, again, like you're going back to mental health, in men especially, there is still, it's less of a stigma, but it's still a stigma. Still there.
I think in the last, and I'm actually talking about in the last 5 years,
Yeah.
I think that it's become massive. I mean, there's plenty of high-profile people that have completed suicide. It's not called committed suicide anymore. Are you aware of that?
No, I wasn't aware.
It's actually the correct terminology is completed suicide.
Okay.
Right. So there are plenty of high-profile people that have taken their lives because they can't handle what's going on.
Yeah.
And I think it's a lesson. It's an unfortunate lesson. It's a real unfortunate lesson that people have to go. I mean, there's a footballer called Gary Speed who took his own life.
Oh, okay.
And there was a beautiful story on TikTok the other day, the day before, the guy that was with him, they were on Match of the Day, they were having a laugh, they were having a talk. And at the end of it, they gave each other a cuddle. I'll see you next week for a game of golf. And the next thing that guy knew, the interviewer knew, was in the morning when he got a phone call saying, do you know, Gary took his life this morning. It's like, he starts beating himself up. What didn't I see?
Yeah.
What didn't I take notice to? And he's thinking about everything. He actually watched back the whole series of Match of the Day to see if at any point he could have And Gary Speed, who's the guy who completed suicide, was said to be the most positive human being that his colleagues has ever come across. Well, that's what you get.
Yeah.
That's what you get. We've spoken about Robin Williams. A massive advocate for it now is Stephen Fry. A massive advocate for it.
Yeah.
You know, anyone that wants to speak out about it or talk about it now, go for it.
Yeah.
You know, we're in a beautiful place now that I know I was laughing and joking about the world before, but you can basically be what you want to be and say what you want to be. And we live in a country now where, thank God, you can still do that.
Yeah. I think, going back, men especially are incredibly good at concealing their emotions. Like,
Well, men don't go to the doctors, do they?
no, unless your arm's missing.
And there it is.
Yeah.
And it's exactly the same for men with mental health. I can't do it. Going back to my dad's mentality. You know, I have plenty of conversation with my boys now. I walked into one of my friends a couple of weeks ago and going, "You're looking all right, Neil. Nice haircut, nice shoes, nice top, Neil." You imagine having that conversation 20 years ago. It was like, what? What are you chatting about? Man up.
Yeah.
All this man up shit is exactly that. It's shit. It's shit.
I mean, again, like, we're very good at hiding what is going on. And people, I think this is what should be pushed more. People should stop looking for what's wrong and start asking the right questions, which will then bring it out.
Can I lend this to you if you don't mind? It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Whenever you ask, it's an English colloquialism. So check this out, right? How are you?
Oh, very well, thank you.
Okay. Ollie, how are you?
Yeah, very well.
Okay. I always ask twice.
Yeah. Because you always get a different answer on the second time.
It's the second one that there'll be a little deviation. Well, actually, one sec. You're actually asking me how I am.
Yeah.
You want an answer. An English colloquialism is, yeah, everything's fine.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't have to be like that.
Yeah. It's like the English way, though, really, isn't it? Like,
stiff upper lip job.
Someone asks you the first time, you're like, yeah, all good, man. But then the second time, like, they're actually asking me.
Because they care.
Yeah. Not just being polite.
I asked twice.
Yeah.
And I've made a habit of it for years. I'm a massive mental health advocate. I've done courses left, right and centre.
Yeah.
And when I was being trained, I actually turned around and lent this to the person that was training me. And they were like, I love that. That is beautiful. Listen for the second answer. And do you know what as well? Let's go deep. Let's go really, really deep. Make sure what you say to someone isn't the last words that they hear.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah.
So every single time I speak to someone now, I make sure, whatever situation it is, it's polite, got a smile on my face.
Yeah.
Even road ragers now, I smile at them. I got called the C-bomb the other day, and I looked at him and I went, "Thanks, man." And he went, "What?" I went, "Who told you?" And it was like we actually started laughing in the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
This life's so short. Why are we running around being negative all the time? Because society tells us. Society tells us behave like that, and then when we behave like that, society turns around and says, "Stop behaving like that."
Yeah.
Weird, this society thing, isn't it?
It's weird to look at it as like your words could be the last words someone hears.
That's profound, isn't it?
It is.
That's profound, isn't it?
When I was in primary school, I used to play the drums. And we used to have a drumming.
You look
lesson.
like a drummer.
It was good. It was good.
Couldn't sing then, yeah?
No.
Oh, there you go. That's why all drummers are drummers, isn't it?
Well,
Come at me, drummers. Come at me.
so there used to be two of us in our lesson. It was out of school hours. There's this other kid, and he was always a bit of a dick to me, and he was just cocked around in the lesson. I was like, you're a bit of a cock, mate. And then the tutor was getting pissed off at him, and I remember like him chasing him out of the classroom and lobbing a ball at his head. It was funny, and the kid just ran. And
Can't do that these days,
I know.
Disgusting behaviour.
The next thing I know is we have an assembly in the morning, and the kid's died in a motorbike accident on the back of his. And that is all that I remember of that kid, and that's all he probably remembered.
The ball getting thrown at him.
Yeah.
Careful what you're saying to people.
It is just a very thing.
Yeah, let's go back to that conversation I had with Rihanna from Bull, innit? Yeah, I could have gone in there. I actually gave her my dilemma. She managed to help me.
Yeah.
Yeah? Go back to that word real. I was as real as I could be. She was as real as she could be.
Yeah, that is it.
She's going to be real with chocolate in her after this as well.
Right, a quick little one to wrap up with. What would be your best piece of advice for anyone, no matter like man or woman or whatever, struggling with mental health?
Speak up.
Speak up.
Speak up. I'm going to give the offer right now. People listening to this, you might not even know who I am. Right, my name's Neil Giller. Right, you can find me on all different forums. I come under Neil Giller on all different forums. I'm putting Ollie up here as well. If you don't want to speak to anyone and you're listening to this and you need to speak to someone, find me. Find me. I'm there. I will listen to you. I will hold a space for you. So my advice is, let's talk about it. That's my advice.
Beautiful. Thank you, Neil.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Stuff.